This stupid fucking sub that everyone's been talking about this week.
I wouldn't really call it even a sub.
Well, technically, I think it's not a submarine; it's a submersible.
I still have sub in the name, technically.
I'm not entirely sure what the difference is.
It's a matter of depths, I think.
No, not really.
Marine is water, and it's sub that, so it counts.
I mean, I wouldn't really call this a submersible either. I just call it a water burial. It's just a coffin.
I'd call it a shipwreck.
It's not really a coffin at this point. It's
yeah, because
it's like a flat.
Well, it's not.
It's like if you put a car with people in it inside one of those car crushing things, like they did in the movies.
Oh, like
they didn't put it inside, under a hydraulic press.
Pretty much, yeah.
Fast speed.
Yeah,
I saw this little animation of it on TikTok, and like the computer simulation just completely wigs out at the end, and there's just debris flying everywhere because of how much pressure.
I mean, that's basically what happened because the fucking idiots made the hull. Well, idiot specifically. There's one idiot in particular responsible for that. Made the hull out of carbon fiber. Which apparently, when it breaks, it doesn't just crack; it shatters. So
the rest of it is they were like, we had it's okay. We had these things on the hull that would tell us if there was any kind of structural problems, but apparently it would only set off alarms like a microsecond before it became like a fatal problem.
Yeah,
and it could only be tested under pressure.
So they never did any real research about crush depth.
No,
clearly.
No. Plus, with the sheer speed at which the water would collapse around them, it would actually boil the water around them.
Mm-hmm. Good old cavitation.
And Tristan, I think, named it correctly a bathoscape or a bathysphere. Well,
bathysphere
can't be a sphere because it's not a sphere.
No.
A bathoscape is the correct.
Isn't? But I'm probably getting it wrong. But I thought bathyspheres were open at the bottom, but
no,
it's
they can be. That's more of a design.
Something else.
I think those are called diving bells.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm confusing. Yeah, I can see why it's called a bathysphere because that's literally a sphere. Probably invented by a guy called Bathy. Oh no, it's a specific boat. Bathysphere from Greek bathos, deep, and sphere, so it's a deep sphere.
Yeah, bathoscape is correct for this.
I think I'm just looking up the difference between a submersible and a submarine. Submarines are fully self-sufficient craft capable of independent cruising with its own power supply and air renewal system, which the submersible does not. It has a limited air supply and doesn't renew or anything.
Yeah, wasn't it tethered to the surface as well? Because I think I vaguely heard something about they knew something went wrong when the communication line stopped working or something. Because apparently there was a communication line because good luck sending radio signals through 4 kilometers of water.
I mean, it's possible. Actually, it's very possible. It's just you've got to pick the right frequency bands, and I don't know what they had for commercial radio on this.
Apparently they were not using anything terribly great.
Yeah, because
I mean, even the wreck of the actual Titanic itself, at the depth that it eventually sank to, the hull actually collapsed under the pressure. The whole thing is collapsed on one side.
Yeah, so. Yeah. The bits that stayed airtight collapsed. The bits that were full of water obviously were fine structurally as it sank, but the bits that didn't let the air get out, good old tin can.
But I just, this is just a pet peeve of mine. I am so fucking sick of everything being something gate. It's like, get over the fucking goddamn Watergate. Nixon wasn't the biggest villain in world politics. Let's just
he wasn't even the biggest villain in world politics at the time.
Is that actually where it comes from Watergate?
Yes.
I had not made that connection at all.
Oh yeah, because it's like, you'll hear something gate. That's where it's all derived from. And I
genuinely thought these people were still fucking talking about fucking Gamergate.
I think
that's where Gamergate got its name.
I think this is something slightly different, Bleach, because the company's name is OceanGate. It's literally the name of the company.
Oh yeah. Still, I've had my rant, damn it, and I'm going to stick with it.
I hate the word gate. It triggers me so hard.
I'm assuming it was like a gateway to the ocean.
Yeah, gateway to the ocean. Gateway to hell, apparently.
Gateway to diversity death. I mean, hires.
Man, we'll
mean, I
come to
think
that.
The diversity thing is a little bit of a confirmation bias because yes, he had all young, well, mostly young female engineers, but he hired them because they were graduates,
Mm.
Yes,
not because
but
they
none.
were women.
Yes,
He
but they
hired
were aeroscience graduates.
Which again, that makes no sense. Why? Yeah, well, he specifically said he didn't want to hire old white dudes.
Yeah,
And-
but you
and
know
that's
why? Because
yeah.
I went and read the whole interview.
Mhm.
He didn't want to hire old white dudes because they were all military experts who told him that his
He
sub
was
was
doing an
unsafe.
idiot.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you
You're-
were
Oh,
going to say something like that.
God.
Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
didn't want to
That's
hire
even
them.
worse.
So
I
he
don't want to hire
hired
people who know what
graduates.
they're doing. They might realize I'm scamming them.
He hired graduates because they would be too scared to say no.
The problem.
And also explains why he specifically hire young engineering women because he figured he can just intimidate them with jobs.
Yeah, but so he took advantage of
And
young
nobody
women.
hates the diversity shit more than I do when it comes to quotas because it just fucks people over who actually worked to be in the industry. But
No.
in this case, it doesn't seem to have been for woke reasons. It seems to have been I can bully these people.
I'm sure woke played a part in it, but he was so stupid that I think he got either I think he got some kind of aerospace engineers. It's like, no, aerospace engineers, hell, even rocket engineers deal with pressure differences of, guess what? Less than 1 atmosphere. Quite different to, as Tristan did the math for us, 400 atmospheres. And in the other direction.
Tristan, I can absolutely criticize him for cutting corners and trying to make money out of people and scam people. Just because he was confident enough or stupid enough to go down with the ship does not mean he wasn't trying to do just that.
I mean, he was
He was
absolutely
arrogant enough,
scamming
I think,
people.
as well.
Arrogance, and he might have genuinely believed in it, but he was still trying to cut corners and skirt the rules and safety measures. It's like, yeah, there's no way he wasn't trying to make a buck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And,
I mean, yeah,
it's
right.
not even the first time that an inventor's gone up in smoke or down to the bottom of the ocean after
The guy
being
who
told it was a
was trying to
fucking
invent-
stupid idea.
There was a guy who was trying to invent the parachute and decided to jump from the fucking Eiffel Tower as the first fucking test. Instantly died.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think he started smoking his own supply.
Yeah.
He did interviews where he was like, people kept saying to him, "You're gonna kill someone." Like experts from the industry were writing to him saying, "You're gonna kill someone. Like this is not safe.
Like,
The
if he was
materials
just
you're using are not fit for purpose." And he went on TV and was like, "Well, I find it insulting that they said I'm gonna kill someone."
Well,
lo and
apparently,
behold,
and the reason, like you said, Disco, that he didn't want old white men is because he had an old white man working for him. The old white man told him he was a fucking idiot and he was going to kill someone. So he
Well, yeah,
fired him. Then he got
it's pure
sued,
hubris.
lost,
Oh yeah.
and threw a hissy fit and started hiring graduates, as in no real world experience, women. So a new graduate, females, presumably easier to manipulate because of both of those reasons, and the wrong fucking field.
Mhm.
Now, if none of that to you sounds like a snake oil salesman, then you really need to pull your head out your ass, because that is clearly what he's done.
Yeah, the fact that he was drinking his own snake oil doesn't change the fact that
Oh, yeah.
he was ripping people
And
off.
honestly, the thing that I'm just absolutely fixated on is the carbon fiber.
Mm.
That is great for aeronautical stuff when you're wanting to lighten things up, but the lack of malleability in that material
It's got no
makes it
give.
the worst choice. Yeah.
Apparently, it also doesn't show signs of stress like the materials that they currently use. They can see when it's starting to get a bit worn because it starts to buckle a little bit, and they're like,
Isn't there a video of him literally saying, "Oh yeah, I got this from a discount store or a bargain store or something like that," with certain parts on the inside?
Yeah,
Probably.
like the lights and stuff. He's like, I got from a camping shop. Like it's controlled with a
$250,000 a
gaming
person.
controller.
Like, the gaming controller is actually the least retarded bit. I mean, the US Navy uses PlayStation controllers or Xbox or something to control their periscopes because they just fucking work.
and
Yeah.
people have played games and they know how to use them.
Yeah.
I think what I would probably do is maybe go for some sort of elite control system, a bit like the Verpal fucking flight sims. They are so high quality, they practically are real flight sticks and stuff like that.
But he also refused, like point blank refused, to get it classified. So getting an independent company to come in and actually check it for
Of course
safety
not,
things
because then
on the grounds that it would take too long. They're slow and they have too many safety protocols, and it would just slow my innovation
Yeah.
down.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
need to. And so it was
Quote
actually
unquote
classed
innovation.
yeah, it was actually classed as an experimental vehicle.
yeah, because if he'd
And
actually
people put their faith in it. It's
Yeah.
just sad.
if he'd actually had it surveyed, then he wouldn't have been able to claim, "Oh, I didn't know that it was unsafe," because they would have turned around and told him it was unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't have minded so much if he had gone down on his own and got himself killed, but he took 4 people with him.
Including
That's what pisses me
a
off.
19-year-old, which is basically a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people coming out now and saying like they had the opportunity to go on it. They took one look at the thing and they went, "Hell no."
That's absolutely fair.
You couldn't have paid me the ticket price to sit on that thing.
Tristan's posted a nice green text post in live shows.
Let's have a look. Green text. Let's have a look. Be me. Low IQ, mouth breathing 4chaner. Decide I want to go to Titanic. Not content with viewing the already HD and 3D visuals already out there. Gonna build a sub. Let's do this. .jpg. Get a tube, 1 window, 2 monitors, runs on Windows 95. Gonna control it with a Mad Catz controller, has 1 button inside. Have a look at DSV Alvin, one of the most successful dive subs ever. DSV Alvin has an escape pod. Fuck that, don't need it. DSV Alvin, built from titanium. Fuck that, let's go strong plastic. Listen to James Cameron, who says this is dangerous as fuck and he nearly died before doing this shit. Fuck that guy, he knows shit. Let's see his sub. Check out Deep Sea Challenger. Has oil pressure thrusters, LED lighting, has 180 onboard systems, fireproofing, dozens of comms systems, etc. Fuck that, I'm gonna put a toilet in. Should I need some handles for the inside? I know, I'll buy them from Home Depot. Sell tickets at 250k a pop. Some boomers give me 500k, but I don't take them on the trip. Get taken to court. Fuck them. Refuse to hire 50-year-old white men because they're boring. I can do this with college kids. Some guy works for me, tells me this is a really stupid, unsafe idea and we're all gonna die. Fire that bitch. Let's see what the Chinese do. They make cheap shit. Check out Chinese Fendozi. Built by a shipping company with net worth of 110... Is that billion? Yeah.
That's billion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck it, back to the toilet tube. Sell more tickets. Literally refuse to get the sub checked, approved, or vetted by any governing body. Our toilet window is only rated to 1,000 meters. Fuck it, going down to 4,000 meters. Let's go see Titanic on our Windows 95 operated cameras. Not going to tether the sub to anything, that's the pussies. Let's go! Fire up the Logitech gang. This is the type of shit a 4chaner would think is an amazing idea. Yeah, this shit actually happened in the real world.
Yeah.
I don't even think 4chaner would be that stupid.
I don't know.
Yes,
been on
4chan.
No, I haven't. No, I want to stay away.
Think of Reddit, but like 100 times worse.
100 times stupider, but right wing. Well, except the pedophile.
I mean,
boys.
that's starting to sound more appealing in kind of watch the monkeys fling poo at each other.
Basically. That's basically what the green texts are. There's subreddits dedicated to laughing at the 4chaners flinging shit at each other. And a twisted bit of irony, apparently the wife of the missing dickhead is related to Titanic victims, but I'm...
We know where he is. He's
Yeah.
flattened at the bottom of the ocean.
He's spread out liberally over the Titanic wreck.
He's joined the crew of the Titanic.
He's become billionaire Pate.
Yeah, but also, yes, she's related to them, but it's been this many years, it's not really relevant. Great-great-granddaughter. Yeah, so how many millions of Americans are related to people that were on the Titanic?
Probably a lot.
I want my Titanic reparations.
I want them from this billionaire.
Yes.
How dare he go down and disturb dead people that are very dead and will stay dead and will not care about anything that's happening?
Yeah.
Well, he can't be sued now.
No, well,
That's true.
the company
His
still
estate
can.
can.
And the
You
company
guys
can be
said
sued.
that. I'm sure I'm probably just spoilering Bezic at this point.
Otherwise.
That they actually listed a job posting the moment they went missing.
Oh
No.
God,
Yeah.
no! Oh, fuck's sake!
That's darker than any memes.
Yeah, they went missing. Yeah, we know where they are.
We
Dead.
need a new sub-pilot, please. Like, dear God, that is. Woo!
Yeah.
I thought my memes were spicy.
I thought that was fake. But no.
Probably not.
No.
No.
No. It's real. It's been fact-checked true by the likes of Daily Mail.
An urgent job listing.
Yeah, I would be embarrassed. Very embarrassed. I probably wouldn't go on the internet for a good 10 years.
Have they also listed for a new CEO by any?
Apparently they
Shop
were.
technician. They needed a technician as well. No
Wow.
shit.
That must mean they have more than one of these vehicles, and that lessons have not been learned.
What the
No.
hell is that shape at the rear? That doesn't look in any way structurally helpful.
It's
No.
mostly for the sake of the sort of aqua dynamics, I guess.
Yeah, but at
That's
those
my guess.
at those depths,
They're not going to be moving quickly enough with those size motors.
Oh, I know.
That-
It's completely fucking useless.
Yeah.
But that's what it's.
It could have
It's
been.
literally just.
that curve
There
at
for
the
aesthetic.
rear looks like a horrendous structural weakness.
It
You know,
might
this
be
craft
something-
might. Sorry, Karen, Disco.
I was gonna say it might be to do with if they had to make like a quick emergency ascent, because it did have, if it hadn't imploded and just destroyed everything, it did have multiple systems that would make it like just buoyant, so it would fly to the top.
Yeah, but most
If they got
systems
into
like
trouble.
that don't rely on the hydrodynamics. Most systems like
No.
that are basically just inflate bag go whoop.
Because if they had an emergency surfacing system, it would basically be some container where, like a balloon or some other buoyancy system that deploys underneath it to lift it, and you'd actually want it more like pyramid shaped rather than kind of
that shape-
look like some sort of vibrator.
That shape might have been much more useful up at the top levels where they might have been using it to help it navigate sort of much shallower water.
But that's on the arse end of it. It's in no way helpful.
And there's no actual directional thing attached to it like a rudder or anything
No.
like that. So
No.
it's like,
It's literally controlled by the $20 fucking thrusters.
again, all I can tell that this is just an aesthetic thing to make it look like it's seaworthy.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, oh, it's a prow, but on the ass end of a ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very odd.
Because
Unless because I keep thinking maybe they went forwards, but then you look at the thrusters and you're like, that doesn't make any sense.
no.
No, also the window's over here on the left. Maybe
Yeah,
Tristan's
it's also
onto
the
something.
entrance though as well.
Maybe that's just the shell, and the actual pressure capsule is bestly designed. Though I wouldn't give much credit to this guy's design skills.
No.
I mean, all those exposed wires do not
Hmm.
scream confidence.
No, but I mean,
I
I
mean,
can't
yeah,
get
that
over the
doesn't
carbon
sound good.
fiber. Like, you have enough problems with subs made out of steel, which has some flex. I mean, if you hear stories from the mariners about when they're doing dives, especially crash dives, and you can just hear the hull shift.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle was telling me, because he used to be a submariner. They would intentionally, for shakedown crews, go to where the sub starts to creak and pop, basically acclimating it to the depths, and then go back up to cruising depth.
Yeah, and
So-
and those stresses, like that's, especially if you do it a lot, you go up and down. You're essentially just work stressing the metal, and that's metal. That actually can do that. With carbon fiber, you work stress it. Those microfractures just shatter.
It just fails.
The main thing that is different between carbon fiber and steel is it hasn't got the same plasticity as steel. Steel bends and shifts, and it does work harden, so things can,
Yeah.
with time,
But it
need
does have
replacing.
that bend
But-
and shift
yeah,
to start
and,
with.
And there are so many different techniques that can be used to make the steel actually be able to cope with that sort of that pressure. Carbon fiber, it's literally just like held together with next to nothing compared
Hopes
to
and
what
fucking
steel.
dreams.
Steel actually has like a crystalline structure that actually is what metal is. It's basically crystalline structure. Carbon fiber is basically a composite. It's completely different. Like I don't know
It's
how they even thought it was a good
woven.
idea.
Well,
Yeah.
Sorry, what's
most
that?
experts thought it was a good idea.
Well,
That's why
yeah.
they are fired.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you know, 'cause I've dealt with carbon fiber in racing, and it's like, yes, it helps to lighten the load, but it takes a single impact and it's done. You toss it. There's you know, yeah, you can kind of patch it,
Yeah,
but
it's not
if
like
you want it to have any rigidity,
it's not
just-
like the metal on your passenger car where you can just get a fucking plunger and go pump.
yeah, and yeah, that's the big thing with seeing this system. It's like, yeah, they just had no idea what the hell they were doing. They were just trying to save a buck. Plus, I almost can guarantee when Crow was talking about the you know, the exposed cabling and all that, that's simply because they didn't have good attachment points due to it being carbon fiber.
Well, Tristan seems to think that that's for hauling the thing in and out of the water rather than exposed wiring.
The blue bit
Yeah.
might be, but there is clearly
Not
exposed
sure.
wiring from the fucking
But
thrusters.
you actually see exposed wiring, and it's not really exposed wiring. It's cables that are designed to run outside.
Yeah.
And
And
pressurized
I mean,
for electrical impulses.
To be fair, I can kind of understand that. You're better off just having one exit point and then running everything through a single grommet, rather than having you know what? Let me put 6 different holes in my bathtub.
Shall we
Well,
bring up some other pictures of submersibles of a similar size and see what they look like, though?
You mean
actually-
ones that don't look completely?
Yeah, actual proper ones that would actually survive.
Well, let's go back to the
Ones that are not
Fortune
flat.
Green Taste because it'll tell us about them. What about DSV Alvin? Let's have a look at DSV Alvin. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, that's fucking tiny. Can I get that? Show me the fucking image for fuck's sake. Fucking hell. So this is like what I think Kristen was alluding to the other one might having. There's actually a sphere in this one that's the pressure vessel, and then everything else is the attendant bullshit to make it work.
Notice how they have a rigid steel structure under it,
Yeah,
Funny that.
it's got a
and they're
steel
using
frame.
a sphere,
Mm-hmm.
for that window bit because it's a naturally strong. It's one of the strongest shapes in nature, a sphere, because all the sides, the pressure is distributed equally on every side.
Yeah, that's it.
Or one side technically, but you know.
Well, it's the strongest shape underwater because the pressure is equal on all sides, which so it holds itself in shape because you're pushing on it equally in every direction. So unless there's some unknown weakness, in theory, it's all compressing just together. So
Same amount, yeah.
yeah, unless something buckles and gives, you can't exactly force the whole
And we know
ball
what happens
smaller.
to tubes because we've seen what happens to tank trucks when you accidentally put them under pressure. They just
And that's
the
under
ends actually normally stay kind of sort of rounded still.
yeah,
but the
because
center
they've got
part just flattens.
the curves rather than just a cylinder, and that's under less than 1 atmosphere of pressure.
Yeah. So this is the interior sphere of DSV Alvin.
Ah, that's the perfect one, and that's a big fuck off steel sphere.
Yeah. Funny. That seems like actually I could trust that a lot more than anything. And even if those little windows somehow inexplicably broke, I reckon you could still get away with it. Like it breaks and you could probably emergency dive away.
Possibly
escape.
if you start seeing issues, but also look at it. That looks like a half dome.
Yeah. Actually, Disco,
of
that is exactly
acrylic.
what I was talking about.
Now that looks to me like about 4 to 6 inches of acrylic, a half dome, because you've got the little hole through the steel, and then what looks like 4 to 6 inches of acrylic. I assume it's acrylic. You'd be stupid.
Have a look at the thing Disco
Maybe
posted.
ballistic glass.
The GIF that she posted in chat is also a perfect example. If you notice, either end, both rounded,
You mean
immediately the rounded ends of the tank do not collapse the same way as the rest of it because it's a stronger structure shape. If you're having a pill shaped, where the people are going to go, they're going to get flattened immediately. It's like you just need to look into nature, and you know you're fucking up immediately.
And this is metal, so it's actually bending and flexing. If that's carbon fiber, it just shatters everything fucks off. But yeah, the domes hold its shape. And what's a sphere? It's just blocks of domes. Just really a really continued dome. Well, what's some other?
One other image for DSV Alvin, just so you could get kind of the big picture
a bit
in
more
a better way than
structurally
that other
journey. Yeah, the big personnel sphere.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's actually designed so that's the bit that might be able to be get you out of there, escape. If everything else fails, that's still meant to be structurally sound.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a sphere release. It's almost.
Yeah, I figured it'd be. It's almost as if they thought about escaping should there be an emergency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if they can actually just pop the sphere and the sphere will ascend.
That's what I think that was the plan.
Well, there's ballast tanks with that.
There
so
are
that
as
means,
well.
yeah, they can do an emergency surface.
Yeah. Yes,
Can we have a look at some of the other submersibles they listed?
We will. I'll
I'm
just
kind of curious as well.
See if there's an escape hatch. Oh.
And
you're not going to be wanting to transfer where you are that deep underwater, because.
Here we go. It was designed for emergency separation.
Yeah.
The crew pod and the superstructure were designed to disconnect and just. Apparently, there was a sinking. Where the hell was that? Yes, escape. Here we go. Sinking. Aboard the Navy tender. There were 3 crew members aboard at the time with the. Oh, that doesn't count because it was on another. It was strapped to another boat above water with all the doors open. Okay, let's have a look at Challenger. Interesting.
I do appreciate the quote there from Professor Farnsworth that Tristan put in chat.
Oh yeah, dear Lord, that's over 150 atmospheres of pressure. Fry, how many atmospheres can this ship
withstand?
Well, it's a spaceship, so I'd say anywhere between 0 and 1. And remember, that's going outwards.
Yeah.
They're actually only designed to withstand about less than 1/10 of an atmosphere going difference between the inside and outside when the outside's higher. Because I don't think they pressurize the inside to 1 atmosphere. I think they pressurize it to like 90% or something because it's easier and safer. So, oh look, James Cameron's is a 1-man sphere, just with a bunch of bullshit attached.
And all the extra pill-shaped stuff around it that makes that elongated shape, all stuff to make that little sphere safe to live in, and then there's probably still an escape pod of some kind.
The whole rest of that sphere is batteries to power the floodlights.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stabilizer fins, things to help you navigate. But,
yeah,
they all seem to feature a sphere around the personnel as if, maybe we need that in these kind of very high pressure situations.
Funny that, isn't it? What was
all the other area in it just allows the water to kind of go in, so that it's
probably.
not.
Yeah, well,
it's not actually taking pressure.
Yeah, it's either not.
It's a ballast system.
It's either not sealed, or it's completely full of crap. So it's not just a ball of air.
Oh, that's it. There's actually
what was the other one? We've looked at Challenger.
It was the Chinese one, wasn't
yeah, it was the Chinese one.
Fenduze.
Fendo. Oh, come on, Google. You'd think that'd be in the searches a lot these days.
You would think.
I wouldn't count on it.
Let's see. Oh,
look.
Look. It's
proper.
That's pill shaped, but I bet that there's actually the crew compartment's just a sphere up the front here.
And that's probably just an outer layer of metal.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, it looks like
that's probably just
DSV
to keep the
Alvin from Wish.
Yeah, that basically. that all the rest of that's probably just to keep the fucking fish away from the electronics.
And it's interesting that the windows are done the way they are, because that satellite shape that the windows have,
that's clearly forms part of a sphere, just like Alvin.
That's a strength thing, but it also means that the little hole is able to bring in a lot of light as well in the depths that are going to be so dark. It's literally added. You can see on the inside it's actually got a reflector, basically.
They apparently also had a Jiaolong, which we'll look at, but
there's no real structure
popped
diagram.
I popped one into chat here.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's another one that's funny that it's got another sphere in it.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that! Just like I guessed, there's a great big fuck off sphere, and all that other shit is just a sort of bullshit to keep the sphere full of air.
Yeah. Batteries and lighting and all that fun
It's
stuff.
almost
And
as
what you might also notice is that there's actual oxygen in the sphere itself, pretty much right next to it, to keep that, with it if anything goes wrong.
yeah.
Everything else is just superfluous.
There was apparently also a Zhao Long submersible. Oh, there's a Seapole class bathyscaphe. Gee, I wonder what those are like. Well, let's just Google that. Fucking.
See, the more I look
Google
into
Box.
this, the more astounded I am that this didn't happen sooner.
Oh, look, this one's even more fucking obvious. All that, there's the crew compartment, then a bunch of bullshit. Actually, that's the Trieste that they're showing there, the Trieste. Or the Krupp, apparently, in this one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, this is the Trieste. A crew compartment down in a big fuck-off sphere, and then a bunch of bullshit.
It's almost as if the bathysphere was successful enough that it inspired other designs.
It's almost as if it's the only way to do it. Actually, let me there's something I want to Google because we as well. Max depth nuclear submarine. 243 meters.
Granted, I would suspect it's a bit deeper than that since that's reported, and that's
Yeah.
really Ohio. So.
Yeah. Widely reported they may
still,
be widely reported they may be capable of going down to 457 meters before the hulls become compromised. So that's probably their 243 is probably their maximum running depth. But I imagine you've got like another 100 meters of them. Of fuck, we really need to hide from these bastards, and then maybe a bit more of a super emergency stuff. But that's
And
one
can we find
eighth
a blueprint
of the Ohio class ballistic missile submarines.
Yeah, sort of a general sort of layout, because you can get those sort of blueprints
Yeah.
of the style.
Yeah.
Because they're structurally completely different from the submersibles.
Yes.
That literally are shit added onto a sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These are actual cylinders. But
Yep.
you'll also notice that there's the bulkheads. Like the actual, there's 2 points for bulkheads in subs like that. One is obviously to separate the compartments, but the other is essentially what the sphere does, because you're pushing in on all sides of the big fuck off bulkhead, and the bulkhead's holding the sides rigid.
Yeah, there's also normally a double layer within
Yeah.
submarines just to give them that
Yes.
extra solidity. And that can actually take on water if it fails, and the sub can still rise usually.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. If it completely fails all across, yeah, they're fucked.
Yeah,
But
and these still have like your emergency escape hatches and shit.
yeah,
Exactly.
Is there a better image for a person? No, not really. But so this is a cylinder, and the maximum a cylinder can go to with like this is under 500 meters. So what, 5%? No, I'm doing my math wrong probably. But 1/8.
This is
Yeah.
a cylinder built by the U.S. Navy,
Yes.
not
Yeah.
some inventor's kind corners.
you know what they don't use on this build?
Carbon fiber.
Carbon fiber.
Yes.
Yeah, funny
Other
that.
than that,
Yeah. It's almost as if they make the thing out of steel or even better metals.
What I find really weird is that a billionaire would even skimp out in the first place. He's a billionaire. He didn't need to. He just wanted to.
Well, how did he become a billionaire? By ripping people off.
Well, yeah, let's face it.
He sold some tickets to some lucky people who didn't get to go.
yeah.
I like to think that he was literally hoisted by his own petard in this case.
He was.
Yeah,
Oh, I
but he
think
didn't
some
need to
could
take a bunch of people with him.
No, it's
Do I
sad.
think
Really.
they're stupid for getting on there after having seen the thing? Yes, but
Then if you're not an expert or not knowledgeable, and someone who seems like they're knowledgeable is selling you something, unfortunately, snake oil salesmen are
hey.
successful for a
I
reason.
think
Right.
I would still be looking up before I go.
Hey, Crow.
Mr. Crow, what's this at the front of the sub here? This big green domey bit.
It's a big semicircle, like a sphere almost.
Yeah, it's almost as
It's actually
if that's where the pressure rated section goes, and all this other bullshit is just keeping people away from the fuck off sonar array.
yep.
Yep.
It actually looks like
and it's designed to be crushed in On
It
surface
impacts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and absorb impact. It's your crumple zone.
there's usually one at the back as well, but
Yeah.
they haven't really shown it. There are obviously the propellers.
Yeah,
but
they've
there's
shown us
normally
the
a long
engine room.
shaft.
Yeah, it's probably basically the same, just another dome,
Yeah.
just but where we can see how the back starts curving down, and probably just about where the back of that curves down, there's probably another dome, and then there's some bullshit. The prototype of the one that went down to Titanic.
I would trust Bushnell's turtle more than I would trust the Titan.
That's literally like a giant hand grenade.
It
Yes.
looks like it. It's almost as if hand grenades are pressure vessels designed to hold in pressure so that they do stuff.
Yes.
Stuff and things.
I would probably trust the CSS Hunley made out of just sheet steel.
Yeah.
More so than the carbon fiber monstrosity. It just amazes me that anybody thought carbon fiber at those depths were just anything other than a fool's errand.
Even a big fucking submarine not reporting going below 1,000 meters. I'm just like, you're kind of tempting fate by thinking, no, 4,000, that's fine. It only crushed the hull of the Titanic. Well,
Yeah, but I'm innocent.
Innocent.
I can't even say it.
and didn't even I didn't even have like a solid spherical design to it in any aspect. Like it just was pill shaped. Like just beyond stupidity. It's literally the Darwin Award of the year.
It is. It's just a shame he took other people with him on his fucking fool's errand.
Especially that kid, because I read that kid didn't want to actually go.
The kid probably took one look at it and went, "This is a fucking stupid idea. Well, I don't want anything to do with it."
And then Dad's like, "No, you're getting on. Fuck you."
Well, I think he went because it was like Father's Day, and he's like, "Oh, I want to, make Dad happy or whatnot." It's a shame because he was young and he didn't want to get on it.
That's usually the tragedy about these things. These idiots don't kill themselves; they kill other people too.
Yeah. Well, normally it's even worse. Normally they don't kill themselves; they just kill others. But at least in this case, the dickhead took himself out too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should have done a test dive. Save everybody.
Yes.
The thing is, apparently it had been done a couple times, but again, the problem with the carbon fiber is it wouldn't show damage the same way as.
But yeah, and those couple of times we've been putting stresses on the hull until those microfractures could no longer withstand the pressure and crunch.
Not only that, but we don't even know how deep the test dives went. They don't necessarily get anywhere near 4,000.
They apparently have done tours before.
Monkey says he's here for emotional support. No, Monkey's just waiting for the shit flinging because he's an expert. Here's something interesting. According to Jack Posobiec, the Wall Street Journal was reporting the US Navy detected the Titan implosion on Sunday, but apparently Biden didn't bother announcing the news until today's whistleblower testimony on Hunter. The entire thing was destruction op. Yep, so apparently when they were wanking off about, we've got to rescue them, they already knew they were dead.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I know that I guess probably 4chan has already taken it like 10 steps further as they prone to do, and they're like, the whole thing was just a psyop. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that it did implode because the guy seems like an absolute fucking moron, but withholding the news and letting people go out and try and rescue them is just scummy.
Yeah.
Especially if it was for political gain.
Speaking of dickheads and political gain, look at this fucking loser. Boris Johnson hits out at lefties questioning Titanic subtrip. They are heroes. No, they're fucking not.
No, they're not.
No,
Stop throwing that word around like that. They're not heroes.
We did something stupid and died. We were killed because this guy was a snake oil salesman. Yeah. That is not a hero.
Do you know who the heroes are? The people who went out there, despite the fact that even before we knew it had imploded, there was a very small chance of helping them.
Yeah.
They still went out there and they still put their lives at risk, hoping
and they
to find
still
them.
managed to go and recover some of the wreckage to prove it, which is so rare that you get actual wreckage back from these kind of things.
are the heroes.
Yes.
Like, fuck off, Boris. And he's like, oh, lefties are questioning it. It's like, yeah, of course people are questioning it. It's not lefties that are questioning it. It's everybody with even just a
Well,
sliver of
the
common sense
lefties
going,
aren't
why
so
the
much
fuck did
questioning
they do
it
this?
as being commie scum and laughing, rich people died, fuck you. Which is a bit scummy, but
realised
also
that-
I don't care.
It's not.
I realised the Literacy has covered it a little while ago, but the idea that Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage would actually join forces just sounded like the worst possible fucking thing, considering how incompetent Boris Johnson has proved himself to be.
Mm.
Yeah. No,
Like, if Boris had reworded this and it's like, you know, the lefties who are gloating about this, like, you could totally understand that. But his main, like, I went through the article, his main thing seemed to be that they were questioning the expedition. Yeah, it was idiotic.
There's no question that it was stupid. Boris Johnson paid tribute to the heroes who died in the stupid submersible tragedy. I shall lefties have questioned the expedition. No, the lefties are going, haha, they deserve it because they're rich. And most people are going, oh no, rich people did something stupid and ill thought out and died. Oh no.
What I really did not expect is how many people are making dark jokes about this stuff. Like, my fucking TikTok feed was absolutely filled with them. I was just laughing at them.
Of course, the spastics on Reddit were going, me, people are making bad jokes. No, fuck, get over yourselves.
Oh, we can't laugh at death. Death is
but
awful.
it's making it hard for their
Gallows
families, or
is a
maybe their
thing.
families should have stopped them from doing something that fucking stupid.
Like, we can feel sympathy for them and still be like, that meme's pretty funny.
Yeah, that's the thing. When my brother died, it didn't actually. It was the very same day that we actually made a dark joke about his death when he killed himself. Like, it's a coping mechanism, and it's a perfectly natural and normal human thing to make jokes about dark situations.
Also,
Like,
the thing that makes a joke, one of the things that makes jokes better, and you'll find good comedians will tell you this all the time, is that the greater the, how would you describe, the greater the emotive gap between the audience's expectations and the punchline, the better effect the joke has.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if there's a sense of sensibility that you're not allowed to say certain jokes, it's why Frankie Boyle was so popular for a while, because he was actually telling the dark jokes that you shouldn't tell.
It's also worth considering as well that generally people are not making fun of the people who died. They're making fun of the absurdities that people were stupid enough to get.
It's not.
They're not making fun of them
It's not, haha,
specifically.
they died. It's, haha, how could they think that was a good idea?
And that's it. It's more laughing about the circumstances than the specific people. We're not laughing. Well, we're laughing at the owner specifically, but when
this person here, he's dead now. Not like nobody's doing that.
well, to be
Honestly,
fair, a few
the
people are doing
CEO
that for the CEO, but for everyone else, it's
CEO
like, oh, that was fucking stupid. What do you expect?
The CEO could literally be a character out of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Literally, just one of the scumbag characters. It's just like doing something stupid and trying to have a get rich quick scheme. Whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know why anyone is paying attention to Boris now he's stopped being an MP.
Well, he was irrelevant when he was an MP.
Yep.
Useless, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Did he do anything?
Useless, feckless. Oh, he had parties at Downing Street during lockdown.
Yeah.
That's all he fucking
While
did.
the rest of us weren't allowed to go outside.
Yeah, that's
See
what
our
he was
loved
up to.
ones.
Is that the same thing? Yeah, it is.
Hope it's just a different view.
Yeah, just a different view. It looks better in that one, slightly.
Cat.
Oh, look, yeah, it looks. There's some more weirdos whining here. Saying that
Why did your cat sound like a train?
Oh, he just got in the cat wheel and decided to stop running.
Fair enough. Like, look at these idiots. Sarah Vaughan's like, saying that the sub deaths don't matter because the passengers were rich is just as big as saying that small bike deaths don't matter because the people in them are poor. No, the small bike deaths don't matter because it's self-inflicted. Just like the sub deaths. Stupid people getting the consequences. People finding out from their fucking around don't matter.
Which is why most of the sympathy is going towards the the
Kid,
19-year-old who probably didn't have much of a choice.
So Bozo the Clown said, was apparently one responding to, in particular, Ash Psycho. Yes, we've established that Ash Psycho is a pathetic, pitiful, evil human being. Who says, if the rich can spend £250,000, someone's fucked up the quote there, because I think it was dollars, not pounds, but if it was pounds, fair enough. On vanity joints 200.4 miles beneath the ocean, then they're not being taxed enough. Well, yeah, that's formally stupid. We get well-funded public services, I guess. Okay, so she's an idiot, but that's got nothing to actually do with this.
Yeah, but that doesn't make them heroes.
No.
Just because she's an idiot doesn't make them heroes.
No. Ash Sarkar's always been an idiot, and they were never heroes. And same applies to the dickheads on the small boats. If you travel from your country through a bunch of safe countries to then get on a shitty boat to be a fucking chancellor in the UK, and then you die as a result of that, it's your own fucking fault for being an idiot. Children who didn't have a choice in the matter excluded, of course. But there's a very fucking few of those, because nearly all of these dickheads on the boats are fighting-age Muslim men. Callum says, tax Ash higher, I'm hearing. And Major says, how dare anyone body successful have money? Yeah, but that's what idiots like Ash Sarkar don't realise.
Well, I mean, she's a commie, so that doesn't make sense.
She's commie scum. If you make it impossible for people to profit off their ideas, congratulations, you've killed innovation. There's a reason that the Soviet bloc fell, and part of that was the lack of innovation. There's a reason that America and the UK had technology that was literally decades ahead of the USSR, and it's because they killed innovation. If the only people you've got innovating are 100 or so government-funded scientists, you're having a lot less results than 1 million people having a go because they might get rich.
In all fairness, we are actually doing that in the West now, with us preventing ourselves from having cheap fuel prices. There's no sense of industry or innovation because we can't fucking afford it.
Please refer to my earlier statement of commie scum.
Yeah, and they're blocking so much too.
They are.
That's what pisses me off.
Ex-Navy Admiral baffled by Titanic explores and dodges submersible. So apparently they've changed some of that. Chris Perry questioned why people would use Titan after signing away right to sue company behind its technology.
Well, to be fair, they can't really sue it now anyway.
No.
Estates can't.
Yeah, but their family can as well.
Yeah. Well, that's also something that I don't think's been discussed. Just because some dickhead signed a waiver doesn't mean the family can't still sue for wrongful death. Because they didn't sign a waiver.
They didn't sign the waiver, yeah.
I also wonder how this affects their life insurance.
I hope they get a nice payout. That's for sure.
The thing is,
I mean, a lot of life insurances do exclude.
Knowing it was dangerous. I don't know if the life insurance payout.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I imagine that a lot of life insurances specifically exclude stupidly dangerous activities. I imagine that life insurance doesn't pay out if you climb Everest, for example.
Yeah.
It probably depends on how it was written, because if your life insurance says excludes known risks and stuff like that, then they can avoid it. But if it's like you pay the extra premium and they're like, well, yeah, we've got to pay, we might just drag it out.
I have a feeling, though, that because this is such a public ordeal, they might not actually be able to turn it down because people will have an outrage if they do.
Maybe. But they also may not pay out because these were rich people, so their policies are probably high. So they might not, because as Matt just says, insurance companies may look dubiously upon death by misadventure. I imagine a lot of competently written policies have some kind of generic catch-all saying, if you do something that's well outside the norms of something a reasonable, normal person would do, fuck off.
Yeah.
So,
the publication might not help because, it's coming out publicly that this thing was experimental.
Yeah.
Like you got in an experimental vessel on an extremely dangerous expedition and died.
It's like this guy, ex-Navy Admiral, baffled. Like, I'm sure the insurance companies are going to go, thank you for that, yoink. Monumentally stupid ideas are not covered under this insurance policy. If you enjoyed this segment from the Sons of Chardonnay podcast, please consider joining us live exclusively on rumble.com/c/Sons of Chardonnay. A special thanks to our Subscribe Star supporters who you can currently see scrolling past on your screen.